Hi, my name is Sunny. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my top 5 tarot decks of 2022. And I am going to be posting a lot more tarot content here on my YouTube. So I would love to hear from you guys. What would you like to see next? Would you like to see my top 5 Oracle decks of 2022? Would you like to see tarot and Oracle flip throughs and reviews? Let me know in the comments below, and let's get to the top 5 tarot decks in my collection in 2022. Okay, so starting out with number 5 is the Feline Rider Tarot. I got this tarot deck. This is an indie deck created by Wheel of Fortune Tarot. I got this in a Kickstarter a few months ago, maybe about 6 months ago, and I love this deck. It has a nice soft touched finish on the book, the box. The cards are very nice and easy to shuffle. They are a good cardstock that is perfectly bendy for shuffling. And it really is a cute deck with cute artwork. I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit more here. So you can see that the cards and the themes of the cards really do follow the Rider-Waite-Smith sort of interpretation of the cards. There is a lot of emotion in these cards. I'll do a little flip through of all of the 5 decks. I feel like they're just so super cute. We have the cat here on the Fool's Journey in this deck. It's really easy to tell what suit the cards are. Also, you can see that the pentacles are, more green. The swords are more gray. The wands are red and fiery. So I love that you can kind of tell just by quickly looking at the card what suit it's in. I think that the artwork here is very dynamic in these cards. I have found myself mostly reaching for this deck when Calcifer pulls cards on TikTok. So if you don't know, my cat every day pulls at least a 1-card Oracle card pull, and sometimes even 3-card tarot card pulls on TikTok. And I think that it's really cute when he's pulling cards from this cute little cat deck. I feel like the artwork on here is just so cute, and it really draws me in when I'm reading with these cards. I feel like a lot of the symbolism is also here in these cards as well. So if you are somebody who likes working with the symbols and the symbolism that you'll find in a regular deck, you're going to find a lot of that here in this deck. I feel like there's just so much expression on the faces of these characters here. Look at this Ace of Cups. Isn't it just stunning with the water overflowing everywhere? I really do feel like I get a sense with these cats of the emotion going on in this card. You can see like there's blindfolding in some of these as well, where you can't see the cat's eyes. This is a really nice, fun, playful deck, and I couldn't make a top 5 for this year without putting this in the running. The guidebook does have reversals and meanings for each and every card. There's a little bit in the beginning too that is about, you know, the minor arcana, the 4 suits, an introduction to tarot. All in all, this is a really great deck. This is also an independent deck. If you like cards that reflect similar artwork as the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Next up, coming up at number 3 is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Mini Tarot. I do believe that the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot has been out for a while, but I ordered this mini deck this year. I did this through a pre-order earlier in the year, and what I found is, especially when I'm pulling cards with Calcifer over on TikTok, I really like the mini cards. I like the mini decks. I can put more cards out for him to choose from, and they are just super cute. So the backs of these decks are really organic. They're you can see the little foxes in the middle here, along with these leaves and acorns and such. And what I really love about this mini deck too is, instead of a guidebook, it just has these 2 little cards that have keywords on it. And as a reader who really relies on keywords, this is a really handy guide to have with the deck. So let's go ahead and get started. So this deck is just absolutely adorable. I think that this deck still really gets the meaning of the cards across, the emotions of the cards across. It's also a very beautiful deck with the artwork and the sort of organic feel to this deck. Here, I'll just bring them into the screen for you. I have not used this deck a whole lot, as I just got it a couple months ago, but I really find that when I do readings with this, I feel this sort of playfulness that I don't get with a lot of my other decks. I love the woodsy vibes, the outdoor vibes, the animal vibes in this deck. I even really like this sort of slightly more limited color palette here. A lot of the decks that I feel drawn to, and you'll see this in some of the higher ranked decks today, is I just really love these vibrant colors. And while these aren't quite as vibrant as a lot of the decks that I feel like I gravitate towards, I really do love the emotion. I love the artwork in this deck. I find this deck very easy to connect to, very easy to get readings from. And in addition to that, it's not quite as traditional to Rider-Waite-Smith, and so I get to feel like I'm on a bit of an exploration too when I look at the artwork on these cards, the different plants and the colors that were used, all really do help me intuitively read from this deck. Did you notice the hearts on the animals too? It's so cute. You can find them all over in this deck. I think there's one right there. So all in all, with this fun, playful deck, this deck comes in at number 4 on my list for 2022. Number 3 on my list is the Unfolding Path Tarot. This was also an independent deck that I backed through Kickstarter. One of the things that I'm not real fond of with this deck is this box that the deck came in. It has this sort of styrofoam holder here, which does hold the deck in place, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult to take in and out. This is another deck that is really nice to shuffle. It's very bendy cards. It's a good card stock that is easy to riffle shuffle if that's something you like to do. This card really gives me a lot of the same vibes as my Lightseers Tarot, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's very bright and vibrant like the Lightseers Tarot, and I do see some similarities too in the depictions of the cards. I love that these have those same sort of borders that I was talking about in that previous deck. And I think the thing that I really love most about this deck is how diverse it is. There's a lot of diversity in this deck that I haven't seen in any others, whether it's racial diversity or age diversity, relationship diversity, disabilities are depicted here. There's just so much diversity that's shown in this deck, and the artwork is just absolutely stunning. I really appreciate the emotions in this deck, and this is the deck that I tend to pull from when I'm doing a reading for myself, or have pulled from for quite some time now this year. This is probably the most used for my own personal readings this year. And I find that I hardly ever even have to look at my keywords when I am pulling cards from this deck. I feel like I just really do connect with these cards in a way that is pretty unique. We even get to see some size diversity with this queen here. I just really love the action within this deck as well. It's a very dynamic deck, full of not only expression, but movement. So this deck is coming in at my number 3 spot for 2022. Coming in up in the number 2 spot is the Little Odd Tarot. I am so bonded with this deck by Michelle Castro. It is the cutest deck. Here's what the backs of the cards look like. These are also a very nice cardstock that are very easy to shuffle. This is probably my favorite cardstock out of all of the decks that I own, actually. There is a guidebook in with this deck, and it includes all of the cards. This was the first Kickstarter run for this deck, and it has this beautiful green gilding on it. Michelle has ran a second Kickstarter and offered a silver gilding on this deck. This is a black and white deck, and I didn't know if I would like a black and white deck, but I absolutely love this deck. I love the artwork on it. I feel incredibly connected to each and every one of these cards. I love the way Michelle has depicted a few of these cards, and I will point them out. A couple of my favorites in very unique ways. For example, this card, the Knight of Pentacles, which I really think is all about like this sort of slow and consistent action, and the Knight of Pentacles is riding on this snail. I think it's just genius. I love Michelle's use of shading with this black and white deck. I think that it's incredibly expressive, and have found it very, very easy to read with. This Ten of Wands is another card that I find to be very unique and very cool. Also the Six of Swords. The majority of the readings I have done this year have been with this deck. Not only do I love this deck, but a lot of the people that I read for do as well. They have really enjoyed getting to know this deck with me. Michelle Castro also created a playing deck this year, which is the Faces of the Suits, which I got a copy and I absolutely love it as well. And that is all for my number 2 spot, the Little Odd Tarot. And the number 1 tarot deck of the year for me for 2022 is the Tarot of Oneness by Robin Voisey. This deck is just absolutely stunning. This deck gives me exactly what I want for those vibrant colors, and then so much more. So the deck art, or sorry, the box art is just so beautiful. This is also a gilded deck, and it has a beautiful orange gilding. This is a newer deck than my Little Odd Tarot, so I haven't had a chance to work with this as much as I have the Little Odd Tarot. It also has a great cardstock that is easy to shuffle. It's a little bit stiffer than my Little Odd Tarot cards, and I am no expert on, cards. This guidebook is a soft touch cover, and what I love about it is not only does it have a picture of the card here, but it gives keywords, reversal keywords. It talks about the card itself, and then it talks about the symbolism in each of these cards. These do not necessarily have the same symbolism that you'll see in a regular Rider-Waite-Smith deck. But what I do love is she breaks that down here in each page, what that symbolism is for. And she also added several cards into this deck. So it's not the regular 78 cards. It actually has, it's an 84 card deck. And I think it has 2 copies of the Lovers. So here we have the Higher Self is a new card. We have Life Force Energy. We have Oneness, Present Moment, and Synchronicity. These are all cards that are unique to this deck. And let's go ahead and get into it. These backs are absolutely gorgeous, and it really does match the Oneness card as well. So I get the sense that this is Oneness. What I love about this deck is you really get this first person view of each of the cards. Here are the 2 Lover cards that we have to choose from. So you can see that you're the person who's holding out your hands. You're the person who is touching the bear's face. You're the person who's taking a step here. Instead of looking at these figures who are kind of participating in all of these energies, you really get the sense that you are here participating in the energies. I find it to be a very expressive deck. I do find myself pulling out the book pretty often to read about the specific symbolism for each card, seeing how they fit into the overarching keywords for the cards, and especially when it comes to the primary keywords that I use when I read these cards. All in all, when it comes to artwork, cardstock, the guidebook, the box, kind of everything considered, this has absolutely been a standout deck in my collection. I am so excited to continue to use it more and expand in my knowledge of each of the tarot cards through the different imagery that's available for me in these cards. If you would like a flip through or a walk through where we go a little bit slower and talk about each and every one of the cards in these decks, the artwork, the depiction, let me know. I would love to do walkthroughs or flip throughs of any of these decks that you're interested in. Let me know in the comments below which deck you like the best, and don't forget to like and subscribe.